All right, all ready to rock? Let's get into InDesign. If you haven't done it yet, go and click on that pink little icon down there on your navigation bar, and we can get in to InDesign and have some fun. Yeah. So this little dude right here, yes, ID. You can also, of course, find it in your not system preferences. That's not it. Right here. Oh, look at the launchpad. How neat. Everyone maybe haven't updated yet. Honestly, haven't noticed anything or any thing worth noting or calling out. It's been really good. Big Sur has been solid. I think someone mentioned in Discord about Photoshop kind of acting wacky. I know that I saw one on, I think it was Ola who had just the eyedropper just like going funky. I don't even know. So hopefully bug fixes will come out soon. But you can find your things here, right? I have mine actually set in. If you haven't done this yet, I'd highly recommend you do this. I think we did this way back first week or maybe week 3 when we were setting up our Adobe products. But if you grab these, you can just grab these, right? Dreamweaver, and you can throw Dreamweaver right there, right? So you have your AI, PS, ID, DW. I have Dimension because I'm working on that in packaging class. Okay. And then, of course, you can just go here, option, and remove from doc if you don't want it anymore. Yeah. Or I think you can even just throw it out in the garbage or just throw it away and it'll be there. So we want ID. So I'm going to go here and click on ID. And we're going to launch it. Yay! Now, I'm not sure if we have, excuse me, I'm not sure if we've used InDesign, or all of us, have we used InDesign yet in type class? Or is this going to be the first time we've touched on it? Oh, amazing. Cool. So people who have touched on it, probably those who worked in the yearbook for their high school. Yes, that would be an example of where InDesign would be utilized. And back in the day, we used to use a program called Quark Express. Still around. If you're a Quark head, amazing. I've used, yes, Quark was the big software before InDesign hit the scene. Actually, InDesign took about a decade before it caught on to a point where it was the industry standard. Quark was the industry standard for like 20 years. And I used it, yes, for like, 5-6 years of my career because that's what was being utilized at the time. And I took it in Mohawk. Woohoo, Quark Express. Anyway, here we go. This is going to look very similar to the other programs that we've used, right? Check out the introduction. They've got some really neat new tutorials going on.
Introducing Share for Review.
Yeah, Share for Review is a neat thing. What else do we got? Again, these are the newer features. Let's just work on getting our base set first. The new features are amazing once we have our solid base set up, right? You can watch video after video. If you've got nothing to do in December, I'm sure we're all going to be busy getting Nana Christmas gifts, but please check out these videos. Please, please, please. There's so many fantastic things that you can utilize. As mentioned, just like in Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop, I will show you the things that I use. And yeah, to make stuff, right? So you ready? Let's do this. Create new is our first thing I wanted to do. So today we are going to set up our workspace. We're going to set up a postcard size. You'll notice just by creating new, you should have a little window like so. It pops up for us, right? You will also notice that we have saved. I just saved this one, y'all. Check it out. And maybe you want to try this. I think it'd be great to save one together. This is a postcard size, 5x7, and I think it's great that we have it saved in our save because you may have to do a postcard for a client, and it's nice that we have it saved within there. You can do this in any of our programs. I didn't do that in any of our programs because typically I would just go in 5x5 or throw in a custom. But it's great to start saving them because that way when we go back, we can then click on there and it will be done for us. We will set this up manually together. If you guys go into your print, yeah, check it out. InDesign knows what's up in inches. Thank you, InDesign. Illustrator, catch up, right? What's wrong with you? Well, it's based on.
Mitch, sorry to interrupt you, but mine is on Picas.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. We'll change that and the Command K together. Okay. So don't worry about it. My apologies. So I digress, right? That being said, do this with me. Close the document, new document for a second all. Thank you for calling that out, Maddie. Let's do a Command K really quickly. I think you can get into Command K here, can't you? There it is. Command K, right? We know his preferences. Sorry, my keyboard is not connected, so it takes a while to set up. All right. All of this fun stuff. Yes, amazing. What we may do is let's have a look at a few things, okay? Not a whole lot. We'll go really quickly in this one, but I did want to call out maybe just a few things, okay? One of them is going to be the inches, of course. That was extremely important. The interface, go down to interface here for a second, okay? And you may notice that you have your different colors. So some of us, what are you guys defaulted to? Light gray, dark gray?
Like light gray, the second gray from the dark one.
There you go. Okay, so same as that one. Medium, dark. Put it to whatever you like. It's your preference, okay? I think white's a little too much. I like to be semi-cool, not quite this cool. I'm not quite there yet. I'm still working on my getting my black belt, I guess. So I'm in my gray belt right now. Match pasteboard to color theme. You may have that on. Turn that off right now, and I'll show you why in a second, okay? If this was turned off for me, I don't know why, because it's so freaking helpful, especially as being an instructor. Go into normal if you don't have your tooltips turned on. If ever there's a program you want your tool, well, they're always great to have on. And those are the ones where you hover over top and it shows you the name of what it is, because there are a lot of freaking tools, right? And if you don't know what it is, it's so nice to have a tip for us. Oh my God, there's so many tools in these programs, isn't there? All of this stuff I think we'll leave as default, okay? I'm all good with this. I'm all good with this. Nothing really to call or speak of. Now, your Greeking and all this fun stuff. Oh, look at all the type tool options. If there's ever a type tool option program, this is it. This is all about typesetting. That's what it's all about, okay? So if you're ever going to find an amazing amount of type options, it's going to be in InDesign, okay? Look at that. Not only type, but we have advanced type. Okay, we have superscript, subscript, all these, our cap percentages and heights. Do I know what all these do? Goodness, no. Okay, it's all good. Do I know what I need to do to show you so that you can complete this stuff? Absolutely. Right? There's a lot of stuff in here. Substituted glyphs, right? So I'm going to just keep, as mentioned, this as options, or as default, sorry. So text wrap only affects text beneath, okay? No, we want it to do everything. This is important right here, all. This is the one that I want everyone to change, okay? Units and increments. Origin, yes, we'll do spreads, okay? Horizontal, change that from picas or points to inches. Vertical, inches, okay? Stroke is, of course, points, as we know, okay? Point pica size, points per inch, 72 is our default, as we know. Maybe we did that in type class, right? 72 points in an inch. Now, cursor keys. Remember we do Command K in Illustrator, nudging with our arrows up, down, left, right? Amazing. That's exactly what this is. Mine is set at 0.0, basically a 16th of an inch, right? And that's a great one. I keep that the way it is. If you need to do a larger bump with your arrows, remember you can hold shift down and do your arrow. That'll jump farther. I think it's twice the size. I could be wrong.
Mitch, sorry to interrupt you again, but I changed my cursor key to the numbers that you had in inches, the 0.0139.
Yeah.
But then it changed to OP 1.001. What is that?
Yes, because it's going in. What's happening is because you just changed your inches here, it's still in your general. It hasn't, you got to close down and then restart it for that to take effect. So you're okay. All it's doing for you, Maddie, for the great call out, is it's making the transition from what 0.0139 inches is to what you have set, which I'm guessing is picas maybe, or pixels.
Well, I did change it to inches like you said, and I just changed the cursor key.
Yeah.
But then it went to the OP1, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, because it still hasn't taken effect yet is what I mean. So you can put in 0.0139 IN or even the inches sign and hit enter. It will do the it hasn't swapped over yet for you.
Okay.
So don't worry about that. When you go back into your Command K, if you ever do it again, and what you have done, Maddie, you have properly set it up to 0.0139. It may have even defaulted to that for you. I'm not sure what your default is, okay? So don't stress about it.
Okay.
These are points and baseline shift. We know your baseline shift, right? Right? And then our leading. Actually, it's curious. Baseline shift and leading are different, right? Maybe someone's going to help me out with that one. Leading is the one that is important. Okay. Oh, baseline shift. Sorry. The baseline shift is great for your, we're not going to get there now. We're going to get there. You'll get there next year, actually, with your doing editorial and your baseline grid. Yes. Don't worry about that. We'll come back. You'll come back to that next year. Now, leading is important. This is your cursor keys. So remember option up and down. How many increments will it jump? 2 points every time I click, 1 point every time I click, 5 points every time I click. Leave it as default. I think we'll be fine. Kerning and tracking, same idea. Option, click, 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 left and right. Yes? Amazing. These are great. We should be hopefully practicing our option left and right and option up and down for our tracking and our leading. Yes? With just short keys. Remember that? We'll do that together today if we haven't used it. You're going to get into grids next year. This is fantastic though. Baseline grids and using grids. We didn't use grids in any of the programs, but honestly, I think, and maybe a bit of a miss, I feel like I should touch on this stuff for you all because grids are fantastic. But we're just trying to get a sense right now. You'll come back again to this. I only know because I taught it in graphic design fundamentals, or sorry, layout 2. You'll work really in depthly with this stuff. Okay, your grids and guides and baseline. Your baseline grid, a lot of it to do with ensuring that copy is on the same line from page to page. Make sense? You guys are like, no, and that's okay. Don't worry about it. You'll get there. Spelling, dictionaries, blah, 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 autocorrect, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Interesting. Enable autocorrect. That's funny. About. Sure. I've never used that before. Autocorrect capitalization errors. Sure. I guess we can do that. About look at this. Isn't that cool? So turn it on, turn it off. I've never even, this is again, that's new. Cool. Track changes, no idea. Display performance, good. High quality, typical. So this will just default to high quality, which we'll look at in a second when we get in there. There's so many options here. GPU performance, yeah. Animated zoom. If you like animated zoom, I have mine turned off. You guys have yours on, I'm sure. If you're finding your machine is super, super slow and you can't do anything, it's not previewing. Number 1, you may need a new Mac. Number 2, you may want to just turn your GPU performance off because this is one of the indicators that will tell you that it's using up a lot of RAM. And if you use GPU, graphics processing unit, it will take some RAM. And that's one way to do that. We went over that, I think, in Photoshop and Illustrator as well. Display blacks is rich and output blacks is rich. Amazing. We're using, you guys will be using a laser printer in the print center. This is perfect. Outputting as a rich black for a laser printer is very different than outputting for planography, as we looked at last week, right? With printing, the laser is awesome and definitely you want to print in a rich black for a laser printer. If you're printing to a plate, we need to have full control of our ink and understand that our black isn't going to be 60% cyan, 60% magenta, 60% yellow, and 100% black. That is ridiculous, especially for copy and type. You are literally soaking your page. It's getting soaking wet because, yes, makes sense. So that's okay. We're not going to worry about planography printing. You guys worry about laser, so this is a great setting. Wow, wah. Okay, cool. This is good, right? Prefer PDF when placed. Look at all these options. Oh my goodness. InDesign, you're awesome. All right, I'm going to say okay. Now, we can go into create new. This is beauty. So I've already taken way too much. I haven't taken up time. This is good. We're getting preferences set up, right? We may go into overtime today, though. I think we were in overtime last class too. That's okay. I don't mind. You guys are like, well, I mind. Sorry. Just watch. You can always come back and watch the videos after, right? So again, peace out anytime you want. It's all good. Now, we got this okay. Create new, right? Go and do some learning at your leisure. Learn is right here as well. I think we touched on that, right? What's new? Check it out. There's some really cool functionality that's new. I'm not going to create new. Sorry, I did it like 3 times already. Now, let's go up here. We need to get a name of a postcard. I know I showed you this before and I kind of cheat with this. Why not cheat? Because yeah, that's right. We cheat a little bit. Not a lot. And this isn't cheating. This is called working smarter, not harder. We're going to go into modules and let's go into our weekly content and have a look at what we have going on here. So we are at here. Video, lecture, and instructions. As you know, this is where we can find the majority of what we need for the weekly lesson. Yeah, not the majority, but the stuff like this stuff, right? Your name, sadrobotpostcard.png. Go ahead into lecture and instructions. Let's have a read through. You're in it to win it here, right? So I'm going to go here, right click and copy this right from there. All I did was I selected the name of what I need this file to be. Yay, how quick. Copy. I'm going to then go into InDesign. Let's pop that in. You don't need there we go. You don't need .png in there, of course. I'm going to change this up to Sad Robot. This is right. Put your name in there. Sad Robot postcard. Amazing. You ready? Do this with me. Now I'm going to go and just grab here. Let me grab default. Now I'm hoping that everyone's in inches now. And if you're not, don't stress. You may need to shut down InDesign and reopen it, and that's not a big deal. We are manually going to change it anyway. So if you happen to be in points, like I'm here, or in pixels, or picas, or whatever you may be in. Yeah, PO. So Maddie, you were in picas, right? With your whatever it may be. No worries. I'm hoping that now that we changed the preferences in Command K and we did create new, we are now hopefully. Anybody want to call out? Are we in inches? Throw it in chat. Say yes, Mitch. Or are we like, dude, just move on.
Yes, Mitch.
Thanks, Jess.
Yes, Mitch.
Yay, woo, woo, woo. Thanks, Jess. Thanks, Amel. You guys are awesome. Okay, you ready? This is awesome. One of the best things. Check this out. Right here in the bottom left corner, click on this box for me, please. Preview. Yes, love it. Check it. You can watch your you can watch your sheet. Just grab your dialog box, move it aside. You can watch your page take effect in live time, real time, as it were. This is amazing. This will allow us now to set up our document knowing that we have our proper margins and bleed on it. Hey, that sounds familiar, margins and bleeds. We've been utilizing that not only in CAD class, but remember all those impos we did? It's exactly where this is coming from. Okay, so now this is on the digital side. Hey, it's all coming for full circle. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's all good, Mitch. So you're ready? Sad Robot postcard. Let's get the name in there. We're gonna have preview turned on. Some of us may have something a little different here. I'm using the default of print letter size. Okay, so you guys can try that. Let's get on the same page, literally digital page. I know, I'm funny. So this is your letter size, 8.5, 11. Amazing, good. That should, again, be defaulted to inches, so we're golden there. I want a postcard, don't I? And we know what size a postcard is, don't we, from Graphic Design Fundamentals? Does anyone want to shout it out? What size is a postcard? No, it's okay. Come on now. 7 by 5. Yes? You guys are like, okay, just move on. All right, so 7 in our width, hit 7. Tab. Hey, they finally fixed it. This is a new update. I love that it finally is matching Illustrator and Photoshop. When I click tab, it'll bring you over to inches. Literally yesterday I did this and it goes from set. Anyway, it's all good. Those little things that you just like, can you not get on the same page? It's all good. We're getting there. Now, if you hit tab all, what you're going to find is it's now a 5 by 7. Yes, good. Check out what the default is for your margin. Amazing. So we're at, right? We're at half an inch they even default to. Now we were defaulted at a letter size. I'm thinking this may be a little big, okay? So I love my margin though, and I love my beautiful matting that I put on my creations, yeah? So what I'm gonna do here, let's have a look. Well, a few things before we get to margin, which is right here. And as we know, our margin literally is our live area, okay? So a few things. Facing pages, okay? We're gonna look at facing pages together. Whoop. Mitch, you're about to shut down. Give me a sec. So facing pages is like what reader spreads or printer spreads, or it is kind of reader spreads and printer spreads anyway. It's reader spreads, sorry, is what it's known as. So anyone who's opened up a magazine, you know that you have a left and a right page, and it's stapled together with a staple. And that is known as saddle stitch book. Yeah, staple, yeah. And you're like, we didn't really look at that. I know. And then perfect bound is the glue, the one that we looked at with that. Anyway, moving on. This is all related because this is the program we do those impositions in. Not impositions, mind you, but multi-page documents for print. Okay. So if there is ever a program that's utilized for on the print side of things, this is it, right? So they're all used for, you get the idea. Now, primary text frames is kind of neat. It will actually put a text frame in your document for you. Isn't that neat? So if I had a page, if I had 70, what's divisible by, say, 8? 72, right? If I had 72, oh shit, that's columns. Don't do 72 columns, but check out what just happened. I just literally made 72 columns in my page. Don't do that. We just want one column. Sorry, pages. If I wanted to do 78 pages and hit tab. Okay, now what happened? Shit, I wish this previewed up here for us for pages. I happen to have my link showing last time. I'm going to close this down for a sec. I'm going to go back in here and, come on, man. Sorry, I'm going to create, and then I'm going to go here. There we go. Now I'm going to shut down, and then I'm going to create new. And you guys are like, seriously, what are you doing? Sorry, I'm getting back. Here we go. This way we can see it happen is what I wanted to show you. I love this preview. It's really nice. It really helps explain stuff, doesn't it? Okay. Your name. Yeah, we're here. 5x7. Blah, blah, blah. Good. We've got one page. Facing pages. Here we go. Check it out. Facing pages, as mentioned, are for reader spreads. So if I were to do, say, an 8-page, yes, check it out. This is a reader spread okay? This is literally how it's going to look when you read this photo book that I'm creating, right? And 5x7, it's kind of like your postcard size photo book that you get at Walmart, yeah? So this is exactly how they go about creating this type of book. With a spine, read, yeah, boop, 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 good, nice. This is a reader spread, not a printer spread. The printer spread is what we looked at last week in printing with the pagination. Remember how we looked at how 1 backs up 16, or in this case, 1 backs up 8. So 8 would be here, right? And you can change this to printer spreads instead. I'm not going to get there because we're just going to work here with these ones, okay? Now, that is your printer spread. This is your not facing pages. So you're like, well, what is this for? Well, if I were to do a single flyer with just a front and a back, this is where you would use the non-facing pages. If I was to do a business card with a front and a back, I would use non-facing pages because it's not a reader spread. It's literally a front and a back. 2 pages, that's all I need it for. Does that make sense for everyone? So that's your facing and that's your single, okay? Now, we don't need facing on, we're doing a single postcard. Not only that, if I was going to just do a back, this is how I would want it to look anyway, as mentioned. So we're gonna turn facing pages off, but I wanted to explain the difference between facing pages and, right, printer spreads or reader spreads, sorry, and just single one-ups, okay? Start at 1, you can change it if you wanted, if you're doing a multi-page document, say, again, we were doing maybe the team division at Adidas. I might need to start my document at say 57 because that is the page that that document begins at. Automatic page numbering, we're not going to get into in this class. You'll get into that next semester, I believe. You can then, of course, turn on automatic page numbering and you can have fun with that and number pages. Bang, automatically. Cool, right? I'm going to start at 1. It's only a 1-page document. I'm also going to change this to 1. I use that just for previewing purposes. As mentioned, if you're doing a 17 or a 70-page book and you want to have a text frame within each column, you could then turn it on. Columns. Click. Hey, we did this, right? Live area, check it out. Remember we did the single fold flyer and then we had live area to the left and to the right? This is where we would play with our live area. If I know that I've got 0.375 or 37 right here, right? I could then increase. Now this is the column, mind you. This actually wouldn't be correct because it would be the actual spine that we're playing with. Not anyway, hopefully that makes sense. I don't mean to confuse anyone. But this is where we go in and just click on these buttons all. If you don't have the margin button, click the margin button down. And you can't hurt anything, right? Just watch things happen. As I click up, oh, that's my slug. Sorry, don't worry about your slug. If I click up on my, here, move this over. If I click up on my, where was I? Oh my goodness, too many things. Columns 2, sorry. Check this out. So column, click up on the column. There we go. Check out how the column is enlarging. Boop, cool, boop, boop, boop. Cool, eh? So you have full control. You're doing a 2-column spread for an editorial. There you go. You got 2 columns. Your column size is at 0.375.
All over here, man. You guys swear to God that makes it.
Who is that?
Sorry, my apologies.
It's all good. So we're gonna go down to 1, okay? But I wanted to show you column just like we did, right? You can go and create those columns, no problem. Now, don't need a column in this instance. It's a single page, yeah? But margin's extremely important, as we know. Margin, you will be defaulted probably to 0.5. That was our default for a letter size. I'd like to bring that down ever so slightly. Click on the down arrow for your margin. 0.375 is what I want for a postcard. This is a nice margin, okay? It's never do this. Please, 1/8 of an inch margin is ridiculous. I know we're utilizing that for our video game cover right now. The majority of your creations and things that you make, though, I would say you're going to want to allow for more space, okay? So please, if we can just go 0.375 on that regard, okay? So bleed and slug. We know bleed. It's right here. You know it. You love it. Yeah? Now, I accidentally was moving my slug around. Slug, honestly, is for printed, for stuff that's on the outside of a printed page. So, you know, we looked at printing plates in printing class. That's what a slug is. It's slug information, meaning it's going to have the details of the document built into it. So if I do a proof and I want the name of the document, along with color break or some additional information to go along with the document, that's what slug is. We're not going to worry about slug, okay? We don't need to I wanted to explain what that is. It's where printed information that's not pertinent to really, well, it's all pertinent, of course, but anyway, bleed is where we want. Check it out, 0.125 all, amazing. We now have our 0.125 bleed or 1/8 of an inch of bleed. We now have a margin of 0.375 up here. We're golden, y'all. This is good, right? 7 by 5, 1 page, starting at 1 column, and we're gonna create. I'm gonna end that video there. That was like a solid half an hour. Okay. Wow, we got a big class today. Welcome, everyone. Woo, 32 of us. Woo, woo. All right, so raise the roof. I'm going to stop recording.